Welcome to this training video for SPAT, your spend analysis tool. We're going to explore how you can make the most of your new dashboards that have just been passed on to you. Let's get started. Open Power BI and within that, the file that has been given to you. When you open the file, there's a little hack to make sure that the visuals on this page cannot easily move. Go to View and hit the button Lock Objects. Now the visuals can't be easily dragged across. This will help your navigation and user experience with the new dashboard. The dashboard itself has 4 different tabs. The first one is the Portfolio Overview. On this you can see the spend across the major categories of Level 1, Level 2 and Level 3. The next main tab is the Category Detail tab. For those clients that have a contract register information in their dashboards, this is the tab that you will get and mainly use. It actually has the detail spend information for your categories. There's some other tabs that may not be in use. So for example, the tooltip subcategory you can just ignore. The category detail one will be available to those clients that do not have contract register data. Let's get started on the portfolio overview. As I said, there are 3 category levels that are displayed here. The last category level 3 is the most granular level, and what you can see here are categories that are in line with UNSPSC categorization. At the very top level, there is up to 10 or 12 different categories depending on your category tree chosen. These then break into these level 2 categories and into level 3 categories. At the top you can see the total spend, the total number of suppliers and the total amount of invoices that have a spend of less than $5,000. There is a timeline to be chosen, so for example, if you only want to see financial year 19, you can click on that, and now the rest of this page has refreshed, only displaying information from financial year 19. To now go back and show the whole spend information across the whole 2 financial years, you simply click on the financial year 19 again. These sort of toggles are not active if they are grayed out. When you click them, they become active and they are black. To deactivate them again, click again. If you want to zoom in onto the ICT spend, you simply click on ICT. And now the rest of this dashboard has refreshed again. At the top you see the total invoice value, the number of suppliers and the invoices below 5K within this level 1 category. You can further see the breakdown into level 2 categories over here and into level 3 categories here. If you're more interested in the IT services bit, click on it and now level 3 sort of breaks down into that too. If you're interested what suppliers are mainly used within these level 2 categories, simply hover over it and you see the total spend within this level 2 category and the respective suppliers of their category and their spend. Click anywhere on a white part of this dashboard to deactivate the current selection. For example, if you've clicked on Human and Social Services by mistake because you wanted to select Corporate and Professional Services, just click on the white space and there the dashboard will reset. Now the next tab is the Category Detail tab. The Category Detail tab shows visuals such as how much are we spending overall within the category, who is spending this money, so these are the cost centers, how important is the spend, who are we spending it with, so the supplier view, what are we spending it on, which includes breakup by categories, contract register and the actual invoice information. At the very top there's some navigation filters, category 1, category 2, category 3 and the business unit / cost center. If you now want to see all of the ICT spend, you simply click on this field and then you click on select all which deselects all of the subcategories, and you click on ICT. Now the dashboard only shows ICT related spend. Category 2 has now also filtered through. So it only shows the applicable Category 2 categories that are within this Category 1 category selected. Again, click on Select All, which deselects all of the subcategories. Hit IT Services, and you can see all of the granular level within ICT Services. To go back to all ICT spend, simply select All. To go back to all Category 1s, simply click Select All. To only show the spend within a specific cost center, again, click Select All in the Cost Center drop-down, choose the applicable cost center, and the dashboard resets. Hit Select All to show everything. The most interesting information might be at category level 3. If you want to know what your spend in advertising is, simply select advertising and the rest refreshes. If you want to know what the spend within financial year 19 of advertising is, similar to the first dashboard, simply click on the selection over here. To deactivate the time filter, click again, and the dashboard is again shown for both financial years. If you're interested within the spend within specific quarters, have a look at this table here. Mind you that this quarter numbering here is not financial year quarters, it's actually calendar year quarters. So quarter 1 of 2019 will include the spend between January and April of 2019. If you click on this, the rest of the dashboard will filter through. If you're interested in who is spending the money, you can either click up here and select the cost center, or you can directly click on the cost center as displayed over here. Again, to reset this filter, simply click somewhere on a white surface. This is a field that can be scrolled. Use the scroll wheel of your mouse to go further down, or use this little scroll bar over here to do the same. If you would like to expand on the information here because not enough is shown, you can simply click on this little icon here to go into focus mode, which will show you the cost center information only and at a much more granular level. So you can just simply, again, scroll through with the mouse or with this bar. Hit the Go Back to Report button to go back to your report. The next part is how important is the spend. This gives you some information about which suppliers of the 44 that are currently displayed within the advertising category are the most important ones. We have defined the most important ones to be those suppliers that have the highest frequency of spend. So, for example, submit an invoice every month. Those are called the X suppliers. Those that only submit an invoice very sporadically are probably only one-off. Procurement can't do much about, so that's why we categorize them as Z. We've also looked at A, B, and C. A is the top 80% of suppliers that are responsible for the top 80% of your spend within the category 3. So the categorization A, B, and C applies to category level 3. So within this category advertising, there's 9 suppliers that make up 80% of your spend. And then, there's 11 suppliers that make up 80% of your spend. 9 of those have a frequent spend, and 2 of them have a medium frequency spend. So if procurement was to prioritize their efforts, you would probably do it on your AX suppliers. Those are the 9 suppliers that have a high volume of spend at a high frequency. Contrary, 6 suppliers have a very small spend and that is very infrequent. So procurement will probably not address these, definitely not as a priority. Up the top here is shown a dial that shows the spend with the top 10 suppliers. So in this category, $18 million is made up by the top 10 suppliers. Those suppliers are shown in this visual here, And again, you can scroll down, or you can hit this button up here to go into focus mode and show all of your suppliers. Hit go back to report to go back to the dashboard. If you would like to search for a specific supplier, say supplier 553, simply put this into this little box down here and hit this button here for the magnifying glass. Now only the information as it pertains to supplier 553 is shown. How much each cost center spends with this supplier, what time of the year the supplier was engaged, the actual invoice is submitted, and what subcategory that was in. To reset, hit the rubber button here, and again the information is reset to the original dashboard. Going back to category 3 to show all category 3s, you can now see over here this visual shows all of the category 3 levels across all of the other category 1 and category 2s. So for example, let's go back to only showing ICT spend. Within ICT, there is several subcategory 3s: computer services, software, computer equipment. This client here, our demo client, had spent in computer services the most. The spend with the top supplier in this category is $68.4 million, which is supplier 8597. The next supplier has $60 million. When we hover over it, we discover that this is supplier 8559. The third biggest supplier is supplier 5523. And all other suppliers together make up $51 million in spend. This is interesting because it shows the concentration within this category. And you can draw conclusions from here that the top 3 suppliers might be sufficient to provide a vast array of your computer services, suggesting that this category might actually be able to leverage its spend tail better. Similarly, this applies to software and other equipment. The contract register box here may not be available in your dashboard. This depends on the input data you have provided us. If you have contract register data provided to us, you'll see here the supplier, the status of the contract, its start date, expiry date, and the total contract value. At the box at the bottom here, on the right-hand side of the dashboard, you will see the suppliers, the actual invoice descriptions that were submitted by that supplier, and the invoice value, giving you a more granular view into the spend within this category. For example, let's select supplier 8597. There's only one invoice with this supplier, so this is probably not a good example. If you have several suppliers selected, you can again click on the focus mode and it actually shows you all of the invoices within this subcategory and its invoice value. Hit go back to report to see the full dashboard. Go back to select all to see all suppliers. Hit any visual to drill down on the data. Click any white area to deselect and show the full data again. If you want to select several category 3, hit select all. Now all of the category 3s are deselected. You can hit the control key on your keyboard, and while that is held, while you hold the control key, you can select other category 3s, adding them onto a customized dashboard. Now you can see exactly those category 3 selections that we have just made. This works in a similar way for the other drop-down menus here as well. For example, for business unit, if you want to show these top 3 business units, hit the control key on your keyboard, hold it while you are clicking onto the various cost centers. Depending on the granularity of your data, you might be able to drill further down, say on cost center. If you've got a hierarchy of cost centers, you can right-click on this information and choose drill down. It will then show a further level of your cost center data. This demo data does not include that, so I cannot show it here. All right, that's all you need to know at the dashboards. If you do have any questions, please feel free to ask these. We can also walk you through, or you can rewatch this video. Thank you very much. That concludes the SPAT training video. Speak soon.